Release event globally coming in the next weekend. It's been released in China for a bit now. It's coming to the rest of the world. Here are my thoughts going into the event. What decks I'm going to be picking, what I suggest you guys pick, the pricing, what you get for it, similarities between some other TCG events, mostly Pokemon and Magic, those are the games I've played, and a bit more to that. The release event includes purchasing one of 3 decks, Jinx, Lee Sin or Victor. It also includes 2 additional packs and promo cards and champions, which I'll show you at the end. The event is similar to a Pokemon pre-release event where you get a base deck to start with and you open additional packs to improve your deck. As far as I can tell, New Zealand events are getting 2 additional packs, but the Riftbound website doesn't specify if that is a standard or not, so your location may vary. The Jinx Legend is in a Fury Chaos colour, with the effect at the start of your beginning phase, draw 1 if you have 1 or fewer cards in your hand. With the champion unit, Jinx Demolitionist, with Accelerate, paying an additional 1 in exhaust as an additional cost to enter ready, and Assault 2 with 2 might additional while she's the attacker. And with the caveat that when you play me, discard 2 cards, but that feeds into this type of deck. Among the cards in the base list, you'll have multiple copies of cards that discard cards from your hand to get you Legend, giving you additional draw. Then, when you have enough cards in discard, you can play Raja the Surrenderer for free. You have cards that benefit discarding, like Brazen Buccaneer, to reduce its cost as well. Raging Soul gives additional benefits as well, getting Assault and ganking if discarding this turn. To keep your hand moving and seeing cards, Scrap Heap, Travelling Merchant among others to keep you viewing your deck. Looking at the deck, the Pokemon and Magic player inside me thinks that I want to play this fast, saving cards like Gust in hand and leaving some runes 1 or 2 active and holding battlefields and forcing my opponent into bad fights to keep my units in play during it. This is consistent with Reaver's Row to bring additional units here, the discard and draw for Zorn Warrens, and keeping runes floating with Taran's Peak. With the 2 packs, I think you should be looking for anything that gives you a better comeback if the opponent gets units into the battlefield. Really anything cheap in cost and interaction. Falling Star, Hextech Ray, Void Seeker, even Cleave would be solid pickups for this deck. Up next we have Victor. Victor is a Order Mind coloured legend with the Exhaust ability to create a 1 Might Recruit unit token for a cost of 1. This paired with Victor Innovator, who reads, when you play a card on your opponent's turn, play a 1 Might Recruit unit token in your base, will allow you to create and overwhelm your opponents with a large number of units. With 5 unique cards to be played on your opponent's turn, you can create a huge amount of units quickly. The amount of interaction in this deck allows you to change the might of your and your opponent's units, which will cause chaos if you play your runes correctly. Stupefy, to reduce a unit 1 might this turn to a minimum of 1 might. Smokescreen, giving a unit -4 might. Back to Back, giving friendly units +2 might. And Grand Stratagem, giving +5 might this turn. You can really mess with your opponents. Hidden cards like Consult the Past, Hidden Blade, also giving some extra sneakiness to this. The whole aim of the deck is really in creating lots of units, sending to the battlefield and scoring those points. If you look at the 3 battlefields, Altered to Unity, giving another recruit when it's held, the Grand Plaza, when held with 7 units instantly winning the game, and Daguerrean Warcamp giving units +1 might again, which is easily the weakest of the 3 battlefields. I would say Alter giving the additional units is the best outcome for this, with Grand Plaza being second. In the packs, you're hoping for anything to give you better defense, interaction, or tank to soak up damage first is ideal. Yordle to tank the hits first. Thousand-Tailed Watcher, although expensive in cost, gives enemy units -3 might is huge and could easily wipe the board, or possibly a Singularity if you're falling behind would be good as well. I think this deck may be the strongest of the 3. And finally, Lee Sin the Blind Monk, calm body coloured, tapping and exhaust 1 to buff a friendly unit 1 might, paired with the centered Lee Sin, another buff friendly units have +2 might. Reading over all the cards, it's a very simple list. Buff everything. Obviously the Legend and Champion unit providing buffs, adding in Pit Rookie buffing another friendly unit, Stand United buffing a friendly unit as well, but allowing it to be hidden as well to catch the opponent off guard, Wild Claw Shaman, when played may spend a buff to buff and ready me, and then using cards like Charm, Challenge, forcing both combat to your opponent, Charm allowing you to move an opponent's unit to the battlefield, forcing the interaction, and Challenge to force a friendly unit and an enemy unit to deal damage equal to each other's might to each other. Ending the game with this deck mostly looks like just getting your big units out and holding bases. Looking at cards like Mountain Drake and Stormclaw, both big, might-heavy units to hold the bases. This is before factoring in any of the buffs you can apply, or using Erdry to make extra plays when you need it for the situation. Monastery of Harana, using a buff for a draw is okay, but losing buffs could hurt throughout the game, probably mid to early sucks. Targan's Peak, given the exact runes you need to cast Discipline in response to an opponent, could be useful. And finally, Grove of the Gold Willow, draws 1 when held. These three seem to the weakest synergy to the Legend of the 3 decks. In those bonus packs, Dune Drake could be good in a mirror if the opponent already has a unit in the battlefield, Anevia being even stronger at the cost of recycling runes, and Ari to give additional holding benefits. All round, the decks look okay. Nothing close to what we've seen come out of the Chinese tournaments, but that's to be expected. I would say the similar power level to Pokemon pre-release kits, but less variation if you get a big hit. In a Pokemon pre-release, big hit can make you win, but in Riftbound it looks more like you could just get the wrong colour entirely and you can't change your deck to fit this at all. I would say if you're new to TCGs or wanting an easy deck, I would say Lee is the simplest to run and still be strong. Jinx probably looks the weakest, but looks fun to play, and Victor, while a little more complex than Lee, should be stronger than the other two, with Grand Stratagem likely just winning the game if pulled off at the right time. And finally, the pricing. According to all of my local game stores, the top 48 players, or the first 48 players, will receive a participation promo prize pack, according to the Riftbound website, which will feature a Origins Legend and a Champions card. All the Champions cards are stamped with the Origin release stamp on them, and you can get one of the 12 Legends. Kaiser is probably the one I'm looking for, being part of the Chinese scene so prominently, most likely will translate to tournaments here as well. That seems to be all there is so far for the release event. Obviously I'll put a video out for the events that I participate in the coming week or two. Coming forward in the next new year, there is Spirit Forward coming out, which looks like it will have a different sort of pre-release than this release event. Obviously now the game will be live for the world, they'll be doing something different, and I'll cover that when we get to it. In the meantime, thank you all for watching. If you've got any feedback, please let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe.